that out before I started recording. So can rewatch the replay. Anytime we want to record anything, please just remind me that this is what I have to do. Now, when you go to Market Matrix, which is a simple shortcut for content creation, we have to understand a couple of things. You have to understand the business, the audience, what you do, how you do it, where you do it, your primary platform and a secondary platform. Why am I saying primary and secondary platform? Every brand has a platform that they are going to be more active than others. For example, yesterday when we talked about fashion brands, we noted that a fashion brand that is doing mostly pictures will have to be more active on Instagram than any other platform. Why? Instagram is a visual out platform. So it's like that magazine you want to create that is actually created in a grid and somebody can actually benefit from it. So that's why they would have to use um, something like Instagram. But when we're creating content, we have to think about a couple of things. Like I said, we're editing as we go, and I need to sign out of WhatsApp right now. Fantastic. We're doing a couple of things. Number one, we are looking at the focus of the business. We are not creating for ourselves, we're creating for people. So we have to define what we're creating for in simple terms. Are we a personal page? So is it a personal brand? Is it a business? Is it a creator's page? Because on Instagram, you have those three categories. And why I said personal brand, business, and creator, why we're still leaving it as those three categories is simply because we have people that have personal brands but will not refer to themselves as content creators or influencers. Then we have people that have businesses that will not refer to their businesses as personal brands. So we need to understand that when we know the type of page that we are creating first, or the type of platform or the type of image that we're creating, we can then create content that will be aligned to this. So for this, we have three categories of people that I like to categorize. This is not what everyone does. So I will do something different. Other people will do something different. And the first one I look at is life centric pages. So just wants to be like family vloggers, um, lifestyle, people that are talking about passions, people that are talking about hobbies, so DIY pages and things like that. Then we have what we call process centric. These ones are showing you behind the scenes, they're showing how you work. So you have teachers, tutorials, coaches, those people fall under this category. And then we have belief centric. Belief centric are simply the ones that are based on values, causes, faith, like Christian pages. You have some pages that are talking about recycling. You have some pages that are talking about global warming. You have pages that are talking about specific causes. These ones are belief centric. But what we do is a combination of this. So because sometimes I want to talk about my beliefs, sometimes I want to talk about certain things. I could do a combination of these. So it's always good to start with that understanding the brand. However, we started doing something which are the pillars. Now we're differentiating pillars from the teams. Now, how many people understood what content pillars were and how they work? When we talked about content pillars, what are content pillars in your own words? Because you have created content with content pillars. What are content pillars? Mm-hmm. Right. Okay, good. Anyone else? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Anyone else? All right. So for those that have worked with me, we've always started with teams. We've not with because some people take teams as pillars and pillars as teams. So we're differentiating them this time around because although we have teams that we used to start with, we're starting with pillars, then the pillars will determine the teams. Now, content pillars are they're broad categories that guide you, the areas that you cover. So we say yes, they are broad categories. And they're broad because they are things that we would um continue focusing on. However, when we look at these broad categories, they are determined by something else. Not they're not just broad categories for being broad categories because they represent something. They represent main ideas or main areas of focus of your content strategy. So they are part of your content strategy. They are not your content strategy. That's different. Another way we can describe content pillars is the foundation upon which we build our um, content strategy. And this foundation is determined by something. It takes you back to this place, the business, the brand, and it's now determined by the brand. So we're going to do an example with an existing brand, and then we are going to a brand that maybe we all know about. And if people want to use my brand, fine. If you want to use a brand, shout a brand name and we would use it. But I want it to be something that becomes like a learning process for you. I like using examples that we're able to use. But it's also determined by something. It's each pillar is determined by something. So like I said, there are pillars. You know, when you have pillars, there are things that hold up the building. So people may not see the pillars externally, but there are pillars in the foundation of a building. I'm not an architect, so I can't describe it so well, that make your building stronger. So these pillars are the pillars that will make your client's brand stronger, that will make your brand stronger, and multiple pieces of content can be created from this pillar. So, and each pillar does something. Each pillar is aligned with a key aspect of your business. Correct that. So each pillar is aligned with a key aspect of your business. So the pillars are not just done in isolation, they're aligned with a key aspect of your expertise, your business, whichever one you choose to do. So we always start with the pillars. So we are, what did I write here? Nobody even said a word. It's supposed to be represent the main areas. It's aligned with the key areas of your business. So what are the key areas of the business that you're working on? That's where you will now start. So what business should we use as an example so we can get content pillars and then derive content pillars from there? Because we're going to go from pillars to themes to topics. So we'll see it as pillars are the from what holds the building together. Those are our pillars. Then from the pillars we can derive themes. But the pillars are determined by your industry, your expertise, your business. So we'll look at it from the industry perspective, from your expertise perspective, and from the business perspective. So who wants to give it a shot and who wants to be on the hot seat with me so we can do a brand and or you guys want me to decide the brand because we have 15 minutes. I'm waiting. All right, so let's look at the brand DK Jonah. Is that okay with everybody? I can't see if you're giving thumbs up or you're writing in the comments because if I come in there, I'll be distracted. So let's look at the brand DK Jonah, which is an umbrella brand. Expertise. What are the things that you know me for? Let's start with that. What are the things that you know me for when it comes to what I do? When you are not sure, the reason I wanted to use another brand is so that we can brainstorm, and when we brainstorm we can now determine it together so you can do it yourself alone. So if we pick I don't want to do DK Jonah. What brand should we do? Help me out. I don't want to really mention names. Yeah, it can be something else. Okay, so in natural, sorry, someone said yes. Can we do what? Yes, exactly. So we're saying a natural air company. Now, maybe there's an area of specialization for this natural hair company, or this hair company that we now know is natural hair, is Afrocentric hair, and we can break it down like that. Those become the pillars that it's doing, but they may be specialized in something specific. Um, we can use something like that and start. So, how do we start the pillars? It depends on what we want to achieve first. We have to understand the marketing goals. So the natural hair company wants to, if they sell products, they want to sell products, right? So if we understand what they want to do, and they want, or do they want to educate clients? What exactly are the things they want to do? So that's where you start the goals of the person. So we look at the brand, we look at the goals. Then, as usual, we look at the audience. So we said brand, goal, audience. These are the few things that we need to do. But apart from that, the reason we need to go more details when we are looking at this is we have to look at the person's expertise. What does the person bring to the table? Then we now do a brain dump. A brain dump is something that we do regularly here because we just think about different topics. We now bring different things and different ideas. So we said it's a natural hair company. What do they want to do? Do they want to educate people about taking care of black hair or the disadvantages of relaxers, or what do they want to do? How do we want to go about this? So, natural hair company. Yes, somebody unmuted. It can be to sell. Hmm? But if your goal is to sell only, you just want to be the number one when it comes to products. That can be a good goal. When it comes to selling hair products, you are fantastic. You are number one. It can be that. Um, but yes, it could be that. But then what makes them different? What makes your product different? If people think that you are just there to make money, sometimes they don't buy from you. Because what's your expertise? You could be a good marketer. Yes, you could be a good marketer and you've sold many products before. So from the business perspective, you already know how to sell products. Fantastic. But what else do you want to do? There could be to get new customers, to sell to who, to get new customers, to get same customers, to retain customers. You could have a specific goal. So you can have more than one goal. So what else? To sell, help people. Now, if you are looking at a brand, which one will you buy from? The person that just wants to sell and will do anything to sell, or the person that wants to help people value their natural hair? Because every business is in it to make profits. Every single business. There's no business that exists. Yes, you start with a good cost, but when the costs start coming together, you want to make your profit and you want to make it quick so that you can continue putting good value products in there. So help people to distance to value their natural hair. So we know that their target audience is black women, right? So that's just what we're saying. But what makes them different? What's their expertise? What is the thing that makes them different? What is the expertise of these people? Probably she did a big chop. For those that don't understand what a big chop is when the woman cuts off almost all her hair, then starts regrowing it, and she has grown her hair to waist length. So now she's selling the secrets to that of how to grow your own hair, and she's selling her products. Is that a good enough reason for you to take someone as an expert? or she has gone to study, she's a trichologist. There must be an expertise that you have. And your expertise must not necessarily be learned from the four walls of a school. A degree helps, yes, but your expertise is not only tied to your degree, it's also your experiences, what you've taught yourself, what you know, your skills. So, what are the things that this person brings to the table that makes them different from other people? So, maybe it started off as she grew her hair, next thing, all her friends started getting she started taking care of their hair. She braids hair for them. She does things for that. Next thing, she has opened the salon and run the salon for 10 years. She has lots of customers, and now she wants to create a product. Would you buy from that person, knowing this journey? Only one person will buy from this person. Okay. There are objections. Why won't you buy from her? Hmm. You have trust issues. You have trust issues. How many people have trust issues? Yeah. So that's where we have something about building trust. I have something here called building trust. Why do people trust you? Ask yourself this question. Why should they buy from you? Why should they believe what you are saying? Why should they, why do they not think that all the reviews you gave are bought reviews? Why should they trust you? Trust is earned. So who are you that I should trust and give my money? So we will come to trust, but trust is earned. How can we build trust in people? It's a and it's an honest question, because remember, when we said we are creating content, we said that we're going to do what we call coupon: questions, problem, objection, needs. What she just raised is a very valid objection that you shouldn't turn your nose down on. Have you heard of this man? I can't remember his name, but even I wanted to buy his products because when I saw his hair and everything, I'm like, man, this hair is fantastic. But when he started saying he goes to Africa to do this, I was like, Uncle, where in Africa? Africa is big. You have to be more specific. And he had grown a big online following. He was in vogue, he was everywhere, and he was a fraud. So he had earned people's trust. So there are people that bought products from him that never received it, but there are people that bought products from him, and at the end of the day, could they work? Nothing happened. You have to understand that trust is earned, but your credibility will be questioned. So your credibility will be questioned. So your story has to be clear. You can't just come and tell the cock and bull story and say, I've helped 10 million people grow their hair. We have a good Facebook group. We have wash days. We have this. We have that. When you have nothing, you have to ensure that whatever story you are telling is true so that you can defend it without somebody poking holes in it. Because once one lie is found, a zillion and other lies will be found. So, yes, your expertise can be your personal story, personal experience, your skills. It could be your interest. You're doing a lot of research. And most of us that have ADHD, we get obsessed with things and then later we forget about it completely. There was time in my life that I wanted everything natural hair. I was watching all the videos, everything. Now I don't know who the natural hair girls are anymore because I'm no longer interested. So is it something that is a short period that you are just interested in it for a short period, or is it something that you are really concerned about? Are you going to be creating your own products? Are you going to be selling other people's products? These are simple questions that you have to ask yourself when you're creating for yourself. But when you're creating for someone, you have to find out the brand story. You have to poke holes in those stories diligently, Because if you don't believe in the product, if you don't believe in the story, I don't know about you. If I don't believe in something, I can't sell it. I have to understand it. I have to believe in it. Then I can sell it. If not, I can't create content that will sell it. In order for me to create a marketing strategy for someone, I need to understand what the person is doing, and then I can sell it. Now, let's do a little brain dump about this thing because we're out of time, but we will continue the conversation later. So, what I now do is this. What I encourage people to do at this point in time to determine your pillars, you have to start big and then come small. You can't just say these are my content pillars. Your content pillars, yes, are based on your expertise, like we've said before. Your content pillars are based on your expertise. They are the foundation that help you build what you want to build. They are different from your teams. So now we're going to talk a little bit about teams before we do it. So if we know the difference between both. Now, teams on the other hand are reoccurring and overarching ideas. So they are ideas that reoccur. Your pillars are consistent, they don't change. Maybe unless you do a rebrand, but you can't pull down the house all the time and rebuild. So your pillars must be static depending on your expertise and what you're focusing on. Those determine your pillars. Your pillars can evolve, but they don't change dramatically. Teams, on the other hand, do. And teams are these ideas that keep reoccurring, and they are woven into your content across the different pillars. So teams, we have pillars, then we have teams. So those are the only two things we'll be able to talk about today. Give me a second. Let me tell this people I'll be 5 minutes late. 1 second. Chip, chip, chip. So, oh, there's a lot of messages. Oh, fantastic. I don't have my session today. Can we take a break today so you guys still have me? I am here. Oh. All right, so we have a Pinterest class today. Please, for those that have not registered, thank you. For those that have not registered, please register for the Pinterest session. And the Pinterest session is by Pinterest, not by me. And we need to, is it by 10 a.m.? I thought the Pinterest class was in the evening. Ah, all right. Okay, sorry. Then we have to stop. Then we have to stop. Unfortunately, that comes first. So I am sorry, we have to stop. And we'll pick up from here. Registered for the Pinterest class.